Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about the phycology. In this topic, we are going to discuss about what is phycology, history of phycology, what is algae, general characteristic features of algae, different habitats of algae, and thallus organization in algae. So let's see first what is meant by the phycology. It is a branch of botany which deals with the study of algae. The branch phycology includes the study of different habitats of algae, the cell structure of algae, life cycle, nutrition, physiology, and reproduction in algae. If we see the history of phycology, so the Anton von Leeuwenhoek, he was the first who observed the presence of algae under the microscope. Then in the 19th century, the Carl Adolph, he developed a classification system of algae depending upon the reproductive characteristics. Then after, there are lots of scientists who gives their contribution in the field of phycology and proposed different types of classification systems for algae. So let's see. F.E. Frisch, he divides algae into 11 classes depending upon the type of photosynthetic pigment which is present in the algae. Then after G.M. Smith, he divides algae into 7 classes depending upon the physiological characters, morphology and reproduction in algae. Then after G.F. Papenfuss, he divides algae into 12 classes depending upon the phylogeny. Then after G.W. Prescott, he divided algae into 9 phyla depending upon the photosynthetic pigments, the type of flagella, the cell wall structure and life cycle present in the algae. Then after F.E. Round, he divides algae into 2 groups, that is the prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Then after Chapman and Chapman, he divides algae into 11 division. This system of classification, it is quite similar along with F.E. Round system of classification because Champion and Champion also divides his 11 divisions according to the cell structure, that is the prokaryote and eukaryote. Then after R.E. Lee, he divides algae into 6 divisions depending upon the reserve food material which is present in the algae and type of photosynthetic pigments. Then next we see what is the definition of algae. So as like classification, there are lots of scientists who propose different definitions for algae. For example, Frisch says that algae, it is a group of halophytic plants which fail to reach at higher level differentiation. Then after G.M. Smith proposed that it is a group of plants having the autotrophic mode of nutrition. Then R.N. Singh defined algae as it is a group of plants which shows presence of variation in the photosynthetic pigments. Then after Sharma proposed that algae, it is a group of plant having the autotrophic mode of nutrition and thallophytic behavior. Then next come, then what is the algae? What is the actual definition of algae? So algae, they are the lower cryptogamic members having the chlorophyll pigments, thalloidal body and autotrophic mode of nutrition. So this term itself indicates how the algae are. So once again we see the definition of algae. So algae, it is a group of lower cryptogams bearing the chlorophyll pigments, thalloidal in nature and possessing autotrophic mode of nutrition. So in that, this cryptogams means those plants which cannot bear the flowers. So this is the definition of algae. Then next we see the number of algae. So it is quite difficult that what actual number of algae which are present in the world, but according to references there are generally about 72,500 algal species which are found in the world. Out of that 44,000 species which are already published one, and more than 33,000 species which are recorded under the algal database. And it is estimated that there are more than 2 lakh species of diatoms which are occurred in all over the world. The next we see the general characteristic features of algae. So under that general characteristic features, first we see the habitat of algae. So most of the algae they are found in fresh water, marine water, some of them they are terrestrial, and some of them they are found in unusual habitats. So about the structure of algae, if we see the structure of algae, some of algae they are unicellular one, and some of the algae they are complex multicellular one. Then about the size of algae, some of the algae they are very small in nature. Generally their size is few microns, for example chlorella, and some of the algae they grows many meters like the microcystis. The next characteristic feature of algae is the algae are motile in nature. They show presence of flagella. So algae shows presence of generally two types of flagella, that is the whiplash flagella and tensile flagella. So what is the difference in between these two? So whiplash flagella means the flagella are smooth. Then the tensile flagella means the flagella shows presence of small hair-like structures, and that hair-like structures they are called as an mastigomers. So whiplash type of flagella they are smooth in nature, and tensile type of flagella they show presence of small hair-like structures. Then the next characteristic feature is that about the cell structure of algae, they are either prokaryotic or eukaryotic. Then those algae which are found in the fresh water, they are usually green or blue-green in color, while those algae which are found in sea water or they are marine one, they are generally yellow, red or brown in color. Those algae which are eukaryotic in nature, they show presence of Golgi complex, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, as well as they show presence of well-developed nucleus and cytoplasm. The next most important characteristic feature of algae is they show variation in the type of photosynthetic pigments. The algae shows presence of chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, C, D, E, then carotenes, xanthophylls and phycobilins. So different divisions of algae, they are rich in these different types of photosynthetic pigments which give them a different color. Then next one about the reproduction of algae. So algae reproduces by vegetative, asexual and sexual method. If we see the reserved food material which is present in the algae, so there are some divisions which stores starch as an reserved food material. There are some divisions which can store fats, oil, laminarin and mannitol as an reserved food material. Then next comes the life cycle of algae. So algae shows presence of haplontic, diplontic, isomorphic and heteromorphic types of life cycle. So what is meant by that haplontic type? Haplontic type means here the main plant body is haploid in nature. Then diplontic means here the main plant body is diploid in nature. Then next comes the isomorphic. The term itself indicates that what is that life cycle. Iso means similar and morphic means Morphology. So this type of life cycle shows similarity in the thallus structures, but if we see genetically it is different one. That's why it is called as an isomorphic type, means similar in the morphology, but one generation here is haploid and other generation is diploid one. Then next comes the heteromorphic. Heteromorphic means they show presence of different morphology, and one of the generation it is haploid, other generation is diploid. The main difference in between this isomorphic and heteromorphic is that this isomorphic they are morphologically similar and heteromorphic means they are morphologically dissimilar. Then the next characteristic feature is that the embryo is not formed after the gametic union, and this is the main feature of algae. Then these life cycles they are independent on each other. Then the unique feature in the sex organ of algae is that the sex organ is generally one cell, and when it get multicellular it acts as an fertile one. Then the next characteristic feature is the sex organs are covered with the sterile jacket layer, but which is a single layered one. This is the characteristic features of algae. Then next we see in detail about the habitat of algae. If we see the habitat of algae, algae are found in freshwater, marine water and terrestrial. Freshwater means those algae which are present in ponds, lakes, rivers, they are called as an freshwater algae. For example is Idobonium, Volvox. These are the examples of freshwater algae. The next comes marine water, means those algae which grows on the high salt concentration. For example in the sea, they are called as an marine water algae. For example, Ictocarpus, Sargassum, these are the examples of marine water. Then terrestrial algae means those algae which grows on the soil, on the rocks, on the log, they are called as an terrestrial algae. This terrestrial algae again get divided into two types, that is the sapophytes and cryptophytes. Sapophytes means those algae which grows on the surface of soil, they are called as an sapophytes. For example, nostoc. And cryptophytes means those algae which are grown inside the soil, they are called as an cryptophytes or cryptophytic algae. For example, Scatonema. Then next comes the unusual habitat of algae. So one by one we see. Halophytic algae. Halophytic algae means those algae which grows on high salt concentration, or they are able to tolerate the high salt concentration. That algae, they are known as halophytic algae. For example, Chlamydomonas and Donaliana. These are the examples of halophytic algae. Then epiphytic algae means those algae which grows on some higher algae or pteridophytes or some angiospermic plants. They are called as an epiphytic algae. For example, Zygnema and Vaucheria. The next one, epizoic algae. Those algae which grows on the surface of animal, they are called as an epizoic algae. For example, Cladophora, which grows on the skin of snail. That's why it is called as an epizoic. Then next one, endozoic algae. Those algae which grows inside the animal, they are called as an endozoic algae. For example, Zoochlorella. Then next comes symbiotic algae. Symbiotic algae means those algae which lives in symbiotic association with each other. For example, nostoc, anabina, Glyocapsa. These are the examples of symbiotic algae. Then next comes crassophytic algae. Crassophytic algae means those algae which grows on the snow and gives a colored appearance to the snow. They are called as an crassophytic algae. For example, Scotelia and Chlamydomonas. These are the examples of crassophytic algae. This Chlamydomonas can give the yellowish appearance to the snow. Then next comes the lithophytic algae. Those algae which grows on the moist rock, they are called as an lithophytic algae. For example, Rifularia. Then next comes the parasitic algae. Those algae which grows on other plants as an parasite. They are called as an parasitic algae. For example, Ascophyllum. Then next come the next category of algae under the unusual habitats is thermophytes. Thermophytes means those algae which grows on the hot springs, or those algae which can tolerate the high temperature. They are called as an thermophytes. For example, Oscillatoria. Then next we see the thallus organization in algae. The thallus of algae, it get divides into the 5 types, that is unicellular form, colonial form, filamentous form, siphonaceous form and parenchymatous form. So unicellular means having the single cell. Then next comes the colonial form. What is the colonial form? The colonial form means it is the aggregation of cell. Whenever the cell can undergoes the division, it cannot separate from the parental cell. It lives in a common gelatinous sheet. That's why it gives a thallus like an appearance of a colony. That's why it is called as an colonial. Then next comes the filamentous type. Filaments means here the algal cell undergoes transverse division, and after the transverse division, the daughter cells cannot separate it from the parental cell. That's why it gives a appearance like a filament. That's why it is called as an filamentous type. Then next comes siphonaceous type. The siphonaceous type means here the thallus is aseptate. Means here the nuclear divisions can occur, and after nuclear division there is no formation of cell plate. That's why this type of thallus, it is a cenocytic one and aseptate. Then next comes the parenchymatous type. This parenchymatous type of structure, in this type of structure the cells undergoes repeated divisions to form a complex structure of thallus called as an parenchymatous. Then coming to the unicellular type. This unicellular type again get divided into rhizopodial, flagellated, spiral and non-motile. Next, colonial form. It get further divided into synovial, palmalloid, dendroid and rhizopodial. The filamentous form, it get divided into unbranched and branched structures. So this is the thallus organization in algae. So let's see in detail. Firstly, about the unicellular type. So under the unicellular type, the first subtype it is rhizopodial. So if you observe this thallus structure, so in this thallus structure, the rigid cell wall is absent. So whatever you see here, these are the cytoplasmic projections. This is not a cell wall. These are the cytoplasmic projections which help this cell to become a motile. For example, Crassoamoeba. This is an example of that unicellular rhizopodial thallus organization. Then next comes the flagellated type. If you observe this cell and this cell, what is the difference in that? Here the cell wall is absent, but here the cell wall is present and it shows the presence of flagella. That's why it is called as an flagellated. It is the cell wall here is periplastic. Here the periplast is present, the cell wall is absent. For example, Phycotus. This is an example of flagellated unicellular thallus organization. The next comes spiral. If you see the thallus organization in this algae, so it is spiral one. That's why it is called as an spiral unicellular type. For example, spirulina. If you see the structure, you see that it is non-flagellated. It does not have the flagella. Also, it does not show presence of eye spot. So it is called as a non-motile. For example, chlorella. So this is the next type, that is the non-motile type, which comes under the unicellular thallus organization. The next comes the colonial thallus organization. As I have told you earlier that a colony means it is a aggregation of cells. And how these cells are get aggregated? Due to the continuous repetitive division of that cells. The division can occur, but cells are not able to separate from each other. That's why they are found in a common gelatinous sheet. That's why it looks like a colony. So under the colonial type, the first type, that is the synovial. So if you see the structure of this colony, what you see? The shape, size and number of colony or number of cells which are present in this colony, they are definite one. For example, Volvox. And each cell, it is connected with each other with a cytoplasmic projections. These are motile one. Okay. So this is the synovial type. For example, Volvox. Here there is a definite shape, size and number of cells. If you see this one, what is the difference in between this synovial and this is palmelloid one? So if you see that the shape, size and structure of cell, it is not definite, and that type of thallus organization, it is called as an palmelloid type. For example, Tetraspora. The next comes, this is called as an dendroid type of thallus organization. So if you see this one, these are the two types of algal cells, and these two cells are connected by a common mucilaginous thread. And it looks like a microscopic tree. For example, Crassodendron. It is one of the example of dendroid type of thallus organization, which comes under the colonial type. The next one is the rhizopod. So if you see this one, this cell shows presence of rhizopods, and these all colonies, they are connected with each other with these rhizopods. That's why this structure or this colony, it is called as an rhizopod. For example, Crassidiastrum. This is an example of rhizopod type under the colonial form. The next one, the filamentous form. So see here, if we consider this one is the parental cell, So this parental cell undergoes continuous transverse division to form the daughter colonies. But what happens? The daughter colonies cannot detach from that parental body. They remain attached to the parental body. That's why it gives appearance like a filament, which is non-branched one. Okay, that's why it is called as an simple unbranched filament. For example, Spirogyra. Then if you observe this type of thallus, here also this is the parental cell which undergoes continuous transverse division. But what happens here? The lateral cells also undergoes transverse division to form the branched structure. So this is the next type which comes under the filamentous type of thallus organization, that is the branched filaments. For example, Cladophora. Then next comes the parenchymatous type. So if you observe the thallus structure, so this thallus structure is flat and cells of this thallus, they undergoes continuous division in one or more plane and gives a appearance like that. Means if you see that structure, you are going to see that these are the leaves, receptacles. Okay, so this is called as an parenchymatous thalli due to the divisions of cells in two or more planes. This type of thallus get developed, which is called as an parenchymatous type. For example is Sargassum. The next comes siphonaceous type. Siphonaceous type means if you observe this thallus, you are going to observe that these are the nuclei which are present in that thallus, but there is no any cell plate. So those thallus which shows or which are aseptate, branched and cenocytic, that type of thallus, it is called as an siphonaceous. How this structure is formed? Here there is a nuclear division, but nuclear division is not followed by cell plate formation. That's why it gives appearance like that, and that type of thallus, it is called as an siphonaceous. For example, Vaucheria. Thank you. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.